ago, in Scottsdale, Arizona, news came out that there was a little Timmy Chalamet bouncing along on a carriage, singing about 12 sovereigns in his pocket. Since then, there has been no video footage until people started popping up, stalking the sets. People at Oxford. But still, they were just little morsels. And we wanted a damn charcuterie board. But what happened recently, so I have been informed, is that people have seen the trailer, and we actually have info about this movie. After a drought of absolutely nothing for episodes.
Nothing.
Crusty and dried we were in this well, but now the rain is pouring and we are almost drowning. We're splashing around like we're little puppies in a kid pool, because now we can finally talk about some of the trailer, which is a little scary. It's like meeting your spouse on the day you're getting married. That's kind of how I feel like right now. Do you know what I mean?
I'm glad that we can't watch it yet. It feels like we're getting ready.
Same.
Like
this guy knows. It's just like mental preparation.
It's really been mostly a drought with the occasional news. There was the trailer leak, which we saw about 5 seconds of, and like didn't really tell us all that much. There's a lot more to learn, let me tell you, in this.
Oof.
But the last time we had a shit ton of news was when the trailer was put out last time at last year's Cinemacon in fucking April of last year, which is insane that we've had to wait a full year, but it's fine. Welcome to Wonka Watch. This is a podcast where we talk about everything in the Wonka verse and talk leading up to the Wonka prequel. And the conceit of the podcast is that we talk about the Wonka news every week, and we do, but most of it is not related to this goddamn movie because they've been really cagey on all the details. But today is fucking different, ladies and gents. I have pulled 10 different sources, all giving little different tidbits of information, because like I could not find one that was a complete record. I kept going to other things, and they would point out other details. And I also pulled some descriptions of last year's trailer that, if we did discuss, we didn't discuss enough because I didn't remember it. So we're talking about that again. But this is essentially a roundup of a bunch of new information and the impacts it has on the predictions we've made.
I did my breathing exercises for this, so I should be ready. Last time when we had the surprise trailer, I did have like a panic attack after the episode. Not because I was stressed, but my body had just done so much like breathing, and that was when you did your whole like I want candy karaoke recording, and there was a lot, and I like had to have like my body broke for
and you
a
had
bit.
to read Wonka erotica for the next hour. It was
so it was a wild time, and I did genuinely have a panic attack after, but like I've done some breathing exercises. I think I've grown as a person since then. I feel very calm and safe, and I'm so excited to dip my toe in this chocolate river.
Elaine has kept herself in the dark about this, which I think will be exciting. I think I gave you a few snippets to get you excited, but not. And I saw
an article on my homepage. Like I saw it before you had even like told me. I was like, I was like, I can't
close
look.
It. Don't look.
I can't look. Ooh, chocolatey surprise. So yes, I'm in the dark. So this is like I get to unwrap presents or something, or I don't know.
I think we forgot to say our names. I'm Felicia.
Oh.
That's Elaine.
Hey,
and we're done. Ritual finished.
Nah.
So even though this episode, I don't know. Even though this episode is all Wonka Watch news, I still thought I'd pull a little something.
You silly little goose.
I'm
love
a little silly goose. It almost felt weird. Like, even though technically the whole episode could be Wonka Watch news, I've gotten so used to having our weird bullshit during the news segment that I kind of missed it. I was like, I can't not have some weird bullshit. So, speaking of weird bullshit, I found one that was great. The article was titled, "You Killer Joe Goldberg Channels Willy Wonka in For You and Only You." The Rolling Stone put out an article that was an excerpt from the next book in the You series by Carolyn Kepnes, that of course inspired the Netflix show that everyone talks about. I have not watched a single episode and I don't care, so this may have spoilers for you, so if you really care, skip ahead. I think I cut out most of the spoiler-related stuff, but I don't know. The tone of this book is nothing like I fucking imagined it, so let me tell you that. This is the excerpt. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was published in 1964, and we're still talking about it today because Roald fucking Dahl cracked the code of people. He knew how to kill off children.
Whoa.
Why does he talk like that?
That was...
He turned them into caricatures and
people?
killed them softly off the page, and it's a magic trick. Millions of readers climb into that book and identify with Charlie. Ha. And they go and encourage their children to be like Charlie. Double ha. When the reality is both ugly and undeniable. I can't do like a non-goblin voice for this because it's so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still digesting this. A lot of D- answers, I would say, so far have occurred. This essay is getting a D- right now. Like, what?
Most people are flawed. They're not Charlie. They're Mr. Dahl or Veruca fucking Salt.
What? Wait, no,
Wait, you don't need the
author's
cursing.
not part of the story, though.
Yeah,
like, you can't
notice that.
You
What
can't
the
compare
fuck?
the author to the fiction.
What? You can't do that. They're not.
No.
And how did he do it, Wonder? How did he kill off those terrible, irredeemable children? Apparently Wonder's his, like, love interest. I don't fucking know. Easy peasy. He used his fucking factory, his house. The cursing in this felt very middle school to me.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
mean
not
to
really
turn this into a
enhancing.
writing critique, but I'm very bothered by this. Houses kill people in a myriad of ways because all houses are booby traps. I know from personal harrowing experiences that houses can fucking kill. I skipped ahead because I just got over it. The beast is roaring, and will I be collateral damage in my selfless quest to set you free? I crouch behind old cardboard boxes. Another fucking fire hazard! This house is a death trap! And no, the dryer won't explode, not now. Things are going my way because I put in the work. Cherish already defriended Bobby on Facebook. That was fast, and I'm in charge of the house. I've pulled the strings and laid down the marbles, and this is how Roald Dahl felt when he was executing those children off the page in the recesses of the factory. The house will kill your Bobby, not me.
What was that? Is this like, wait, is this an excerpt from the book? Is this somebody talking about? Oh,
this
that's
is an excerpt.
Oh,
it's really bad, right? Like, I'm not crazy.
I thought this was an article on like cracked.com. I didn't know.
It's really bad, right?
Oh,
like, I'm sorry if you guys are a fan of the U book series, but this is genuinely one of the worst pieces of writing I've read in my life. I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, because it didn't click for me. I thought we were reading a sassy, weird article someone had been talking about. That was
real.
An actual excerpt.
What was with the cursing? I was like, now when they make that series on Netflix and they have what's his name, fucking Penn Badgley deliver that monologue, I do want to hear it because how the fuck is he gonna pull that shit off? Because it's woof.
Yeah, that might need some editing and/or cutting when it comes to it. Wow,
the dryer won't explode, not now.
that made me very, very glad that I did my breathing exercises before, because my chest is contracting a bit from that. Because it
Johnny and the Chocolate Factory was published in 1964, and we're starting talking about it today because Roald fucking Dahl cracked the code of people. What are you talking about?
Roald Dahl is not the person who cracked the code on people. Also, like that is whoa. It's of all the people.
I don't. Why would you start your book like that? It's completely unrelated, and it's not a good metaphor either.
Nah. Yeah. Well,
anyway,
I wish them the best of luck, and clearly
good luck on
so
turning that into the Netflix adaptation. Good luck, guys. Woof. I don't know how to conclude that. I just wanted to share with the class. I'm sorry. I feel like that was a little bit uncharacteristically harsh of us, but I stand by it. So
I think it's, I mean, as we always say, it's fair. People seem to like it. It's out there. Also, if we have opinions, then that's okay. But
we have not read the series, so
exactly. We very much acknowledge we're not well
read on this, but this didn't make me want to read more. That's all I'll say. It didn't make me want to read more. Big boy time. Big boy news time.
Big boy news time.
I have pulled 10 different sources, so we have a lot of shit. One thing that's a bit of housekeeping I think we need to talk about is this movie has 2 different premiere dates, which I don't think we've acknowledged yet, and I don't think I fully realized. It is premiering on December 13th outside of the US, but December 15th within the US, which implies, number one, a London premiere, and number two, there will potentially be 2 days where we will have not seen Wonka, but the rest of the world can.
I'll go to Europe. Bring me. Take me.
So just share the podcast with your friends. Get the word out there so that we can see this goddamn flick. So that we can see this goddamn flick on release day.
Even if we're not there, if we can get us a copy or something.
Yeah. Give us a screener copy, send a little DVD to our house, or we get invited to the premiere, or we go to London. We go to the UK. Imagine that fucking visa application. We're like, yes, this is for work. We must go see this film. So just share with your friends, share it around,
Do you guys want us to have our European rom-com adventure where we both find dashing people to London people, and it's like, oi, what are you doing? Well, I run a Wonka podcast.
We go a week before, and our goal is to find a date on Hinge to go to the Wonka premiere with.
That'd be fucking amazing. I would absolutely
and you do have
die.
to wear the outfit. You do have to wear the outfit. Wonka trailer news. Wonka trailer news. So, this is from our first article from Entertainment Weekly, which is mostly about Hugh Grant. Grant's Oompa Loompa, whom director Paul King said was no taller than knee-high in the film, made his debut in footage that was screened at Cinemacon 2023 in Las Vegas. So that's our first thing. We got a real short Oompa Loompa. Wow. We're going by the original book description. This is a tiny Hugh Grant. He could ride in a Baby Bjorn.
Wow.
I didn't know that was going to come out of my mouth.
I could tell. Whoa.
Here's the next. This is, oh God, how do I even? I feel like we jumped into this very quickly, but we just have to.
Well, there's no other. I mean, we can't. We're. What episode is this? 76.
Yeah,
there is. We aren't jumping it. This is just it. It's time.
Okay. Chalamet's Wonka discovers the orange-skinned lad in a glass case.
Whoa. Hugh Grant described as an orange-skinned lad.
Yeah.
Bonkers. Glass
You
case.
Can't call anyone over 35 a lad, I don't think.
No, I do think that there is an age limit on lad. The glass case makes me think either like Night at the Museum kind of vibe, like on exhibition, or something come to life. I don't even know. I
think it's
case.
more
I'm
of
taking notes.
Reading some of the others, it seems to be more akin to a jar, like a temporary containment method.
Oh,
I think, but maybe
like a butterfly, like the way you get
kind
little
of
lightning bugs.
That's what I guessed.
Huga Loompa in your jar.
So he discovers the orange-skinned lad in a glass case, in which Grant performs a little jig for the audience's amusement.
Stop. What?
The Oompa Loompa shouts to be let out when Wonka arrives on the scene. And then Wonka says, "You're the funny little man who's been following me."
So Huga Loompa has been stalking Wonka and seems he gets caught, and now they're going to be like besties or something. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm guessing. What I also like about this is it implies that the Oompa Loompas seek out Wonka, not the reverse, which is a good way potentially to solve some of the problems here, because they are rife and aplenty. Huga Loompa's in a little glass jar and does a little jig. It goes on. How dare you? The Oompa Loompa fires back. I will have you know that I'm perfectly respectable size for an Oompa Loompa. When Wonka responds incredulously, Grant's character proceeds to refresh his memory of what a Oompa Loompa is with a song so ludicrously catchy that it may never leave your mind, he says. And then it says, cue the Oompa Loompa dance. That's what is written there. Reading on, this is a bit of a spoiler, but this is not a sung song. He's playing on a little flute. And by the way, you did not make a prediction about flutes. Every other musical instrument, but not flute.
Damn. Maybe the bit is he pulls out a different instrument every song.
Hey, that would be fucking amazing.
Until
he pulls out a flugelhorn and you scream in the theater.
I stand up and I go, "You betrayed me! How dare you!"
You walk out of the Wonka prequel because Hugo Loompa pulls out a flugelhorn.
This podcast just like falls to. I couldn't at that point. I'd have to sit there. I've dedicated too much of my fucking life to this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring mini bottles and I'll just start shooting those back, and then it'll be fine.
I don't know why that made me laugh so hard. I think I just pictured you.
See it. Yeah, you saw it.
And you're like in a fancy gown too for the premiere, and you're like,
right.
God fucking damn
I just
it.
like pull it out of my bra. I'm like, oh Jesus, here we go. A little vodka.
Chalamet said, working with Hugh to begin with, what a dream come true. Also, as you guys saw, there's Rowan Atkinson, Olivia Colman, and Keegan-Michael Key. It's just a dream as an American actor to be working with this dream of British actors. Okay, but that's the first time people saw Hugh as an Oompa Loompa, right? It was a trip for those who saw it, and obviously Hugh and Paul King have an extraordinary collaborative relationship, and Hugh Grant's one of our greats, so it was a dream.
So how much of this movie did Hugh Grant just have to be in a green screen room and or wearing a little green screen suit so he could be dancing in a jar and walking around and doing all these things? Like how much
of the Hugh Loompa is CGI?
It's just
how much was practical? How much are they even able to be playing against each other in these scenes? Because like how much
camera angles might we have? Like distorted props. Oh my god.
I don't think they're going to be doing a Lord of the Rings level practical effects in this. I think that would be kind of nuts.
That would be a bit much, but
who knows?
Who knows?
The footage shown at Cinemacon also gives us glimpses at Coleman's character, Wonka developing a chocolate that makes people fly, and general musical whimsy.
Okay.
And then, a character played by actress Sally Hawkins says, every good thing in this world started with a dream, so you hold on to yours.
That feels like a prediction. I don't know how that feels like a prediction, but it feels like we've... I don't know. You know what I mean? Like her saying that, hold on to your dream.
Is the dream in the cane, in the present, in the cane? Sally Hawkins?
I doubt it would be that literal, but if it is, but...
It's a little cocoa bean.
Follow your dreams, Charlie. Except it's Willie. Good God. Okay.
Variety.com's article.
Oh, here we go.
Chalamet told the room of movie theater owners that playing a young Wonka is a dream come true. Past versions of the character were cynical, he says, but this is a Willie that's full of joy and hope and desire to become the greatest chocolatier. So he's going to be an optimistic Wonka. He's not going to have the, like, demonic, sardonic nature of a gene, which is something he addresses later.
Okay.
But I think we need to emotionally prepare. He may not have that moment of anger that I think we both want.
Yeah, it sounds
I'll
like
be a little frustrated.
There was that video someone shared on Instagram with us a couple months ago where he did kind of say like there'll be a little like it sounded like it might be cynical, but maybe it's more like little mischief as opposed to like devious.
I mean, it could be sad backstory too.
Oh, maybe that's what it might be.
It could be something like that. I don't know.
I could accept, I think, a jolly young Wonka.
I can accept it too, but there has to be a narrative moment in this. There has to be a narrative moment where like someone is down in the dumps where your protagonist is like, there's no way forward. I mean, even Paddington has it, and Paddington just gets kind of sad.
I feel like the beginning will probably follow a similar thing.
I feel like if Wonka doesn't have a little bit of rage in that moment, it may not feel all the way authentic.
Yeah.
I just hope they play into that a little bit.
Yes.
So here's the next thing. Crowds at Cinemacon also got glimpses of Calla Lane as the chocolatier's new friend. Which we knew that.
Aw, yay.
Olivia Colman as a Cockney innkeeper.
Innkeeper?
Yeah.
You know what that means?
What?
There's probably a tavern scene.
I will spoil you.
Taverns.
They've they've changed the wording on this in different articles, so I don't know if it's as solid. This is like a Victorian inn. And also other places have called it a boarding house, so I don't think there's going to be a tavern, and I hate to break it to you, but I would love a fucking tavern song.
Either Annie Hard Knock Life or Tavern something. This is as close as we've gotten to see it so far, I suppose. Wow, I was not expecting that. I guess I'm just so used to her being the queen. I just imagined she'd be like a rich, evil person.
Yeah.
But that makes me very happy, and I'm very excited to see that performance.
And are you ready for official confirmation on something that we've basically known to be true but never officially said.
Okay.
Sally Hawkins is playing his fucking mom. Thank God.
Oh, good.
I mean, we've known this via context clues for months, but I'm happy to see it written down. Thank you. That meant an actual prediction I could mark as correct. It felt so good. It felt so good.
Yay.
So this was the Wonka movie Instagram posted a screenshot of a article about the Wonka trailer. They did not provide a source, so I can't provide that. I wish I did. Wonka footage plays. Wonka in a side profile shot asks, "Is everybody ready?" So there you go. Oh. He travels to a tropical island. Oompa Loompas, I guess.
Loompa Land?
I guess that would probably be Loompas. Loompas. That would probably have to do with the Oompa Loompas.
Uh-huh.
He calls himself a magician, inventor, and chocolate maker. So he's a fucking magician in this, which is good for you and some of your predictions. He has gadgets.
If he does small magic tricks.
I know. He has gadgets, which I missed. That means a gear will probably be on screen. I'm adding it to the potential predictions list.
I'm so excited. That does make me happy for us.
I will say, reading this, we're doing better than I thought, Elaine.
Shit. That feels both good and bad, you know?
He has gadgets and ingredients and a relentless desire to sell chocolate, despite people discouraging him. So, this is the most insane thing, because this is a prediction I thought would never come true, ever. I have routinely said this is one of my worst predictions, but yet here we are. If we remember, back a long time ago, let me find the actual episode I predicted this in. I predicted this in episode 9, that there would be an Italian mobster element in the prequel. One of the worst. But it turns out there's a thing in this film called the Chocolate Cartel. And I know the cartel and the mafia are different, but it's not that fucking different in the scheme of things. I'd count that as half right. Because what the fuck? Why is my Italian mobster element way closer than anything else?
Than tap shoes.
But there's a chocolate cartel that crush all chocolate manufacturers.
I am most excited to see that. I bet I'm gonna love
which explains
every
why
evil
there's
character.
So many fucking villains, because we were so confused.
Oh, Fickle Grubber gets to be a little bad boy.
Very
so exciting. Oh, I do love that element. I think that I really like that they played with the chocolate spies kind of idea. Like, I know it's not quite the same, but like, yeah, I think this is a really fun take, and it's not like something that they've exactly done. It's things that have happened in our fan fictions almost.
Actually, yeah, it's really not that far off.
It's really not. Which is so funny, but yeah, no, I'm really excited. I like the skeleton I've heard so far. Yeah, I'm excited as well. I'm not going, ugh.
So, also from the Wonka movie Instagram, they posted clips from the John Campea show, which had them talking about the film. They were very excited about it, and they compared it to kind of similar to Greatest Showman vibes, which I was like, I don't like Greatest Showman, but I'm not going to use that to judge Wonka. And apparently Rowan Atkinson tells Wonka to run away, which they said was a clear homage to Monty Python. So there's that.
Oh boy.
Now, Deadline. We got a few new details from Deadline.
This is like a CVS receipt right now. Like, there's just more and more.
Every article I kept finding more. He lands in a mid-European city after traveling the world perfecting his craft, which I did not know. That's big.
I hope we get a montage.
He said his goal is to open up a chocolate shop, but Willy Wonka soon learns he must battle some pretty sinister characters. He's told many people have come here to sell chocolate and have been crushed by the chocolate cartel. So it's not a benign threat. The chocolate cartel means business, apparently.
There's
gonna be a few fight scenes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like we're gonna have fight scenes, and then I also like imagine like maybe each little country he goes to, he makes a little enemy, and then they start kind of figuring out like, oh, he's like doing this. So then you have your French guy, fun. Keegan-Michael Key, right? And then they all start like chasing each other, like, wait, what are you doing? Wait, we're all going after the same person. Fine, the cartel reigns or something, you know? Like, I really like that. Oh.
Next, Letterboxd from their journal was recapping all the Wonka Cinemacon news, which has some new stuff. Apparently, Hugh Grant writes backstories for all of his characters. Like, he had one for Phoenix Buchanan from the Paddington films.
Cool.
So we will absolutely need to fucking learn this Oompa Loompas backstory.
Yes.
We will make that a mission of ours. So Chalamet concludes by calling working with Grant a dream come true, a phrase he also uses to describe the honor of slipping into Wonka's hard-to-fill velvet coat. He said, like many people in this audience, the Willy Wonka films have been hugely inspiring. I grew up on them, and this felt like the opportunity to present Willy as this optimistic, youthful, hopeful figure. Gene Wilder goes in this sort of cynical version, but this is a Willy that's full of joy and optimism and hope and a desire to become the greatest chocolatier of all time. So he's gonna be different.
Yeah. Which I think sets him up for a little more success to be a Wonka, because obviously people are going to want to compare them. And if it's like apples to oranges, it's going to be more like, this is the same story, but like, how much does Timothée Chalamet embody what this version of the character could be, as opposed to like, oh, Johnny Depp versus Gene Wilder, when it was
and
same
I mean,
story,
it is obviously more of an homage to Gene than it is to Johnny.
Yes.
Which I don't think is a stretch to say at all. Other people were interpreting this as him saying that it was a direct prequel to Gene Wilder, which it isn't if you read what he said. But
yeah,
this is perhaps the most exciting thing to me.
Oh.
This article gives the name of Calla Lane's character. It was everywhere else it said she was unnamed, so there's a chance this may not be true.
Okay.
But according to this article, her character is named Noodle.
I am obsessed.
Noodle. I fucking love it.
I am
if
obsessed.
she's not named Noodle, I'm going to be so sad. She's
Linguini, get out of here. Keep it as Noodle. Oh! Yeah, throw your mic and anchor.
It reminds me of Mr. Noodle from the Elmo's World show.
I think of, did you ever watch God, I'm going to not remember it. There was like an otter show on PBS, and every time they came across an issue, they had to use their noodle brain.
Yes. It was like peanut butter,
jelly, peanut butter and jelly.
PB&J Otter. That was what it was called. It was called PB&J Otter.
PB&J Otter. Wow, what a time. Your noodle.
Why did I watch this?
Dude, I don't know why you watched that, to be honest. That seems not beyond...
I did watch it.
Anyway, I love that fact. That also provides more insight on, yes, this is very whimsy. And I hope we get a reason for the noodle name. That would be silly.
She's his sophisticated and intelligent young friend who shows Willy the ropes at a boarding house, which I kind of love, that he's like this outsider.
Yes.
So that's what I'm guessing is Olivia Colman is like the lady who runs the boarding house.
Gotcha.
And she said she's kind of evil, so that's good to know.
Annie.
Yeah. And then Tom Hanks, but I also love that Wonka's like in his 20s, and it's like children's youth's boarding house, which is probably not. Probably Calla Lane is the like exception there, or Noodle is the exception there. I do love that we're gonna have a character named Noodle. We have to account for. I love that.
It's perfect.
She probably will, if she's like the sophisticated smart one. I bet there's gonna be a joke about her using her noodle. There's gotta be.
There has to be.
But I'm so excited. I love that trope that she's like kind of just like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and this like 14-year-old shows him everything.
She's like,
I love
okay, let me show you. Yes, no, I love that trope as well.
As a parting treat, Chalamet shares that too much chocolate was consumed on set, and that there's a lot of swimming in chocolate too. Actual chocolate. That's one of the more bizarre experiences I've had in my life, for sure.
So it sounds like there's like possibly a real live chocolate river they have to go through. That is what that makes me think. Yeah, and now I'm thinking about the Oompa Loompas on the fucking paddle boards. I bet that was a chocolate river, right? I bet that's a chocolate river. I bet there's a real chocolate river. There's too many predictions to make at this point. This is crazy. This is a discussion from last year's Cinemacon trailer, which I do not think we talked about, because holy shit. Starts with the first notes of pure imagination, which makes sense. Now, we don't know if it's with bells. So my prediction is not fully correct. If anyone wants to, also, by the way, if you're secretly listening to this and you have some info, you just want to, pass along, wonkarapture@gmail.com. Anyway, continue. Yeah. DM's open. Are there bells? We get shots of young Wonka dancing, making candy, people eating his candy, a quick song called Have You Ever Had Chocolate Like This? He's set up in a town square selling chocolate illegally. The police come, and this rocked my world. Because if we talked about this, we did not
talk about it nearly enough because holy shit. The police come and he jumps into a sewer.
No.
Is the Wonka well real?
This
Well, the Wonka jumping into the sewer is better than anything.
You know how I love a tavern scene.
I did misread this. The next line says he opens the factory, which looks different to the original film, but is very large. I thought the factory was inside the sewer, and I got so fucking excited. I did misread that. But if he has a workshop in the sewers, it would be the best thing ever. But that's not the point.
Best thing ever is possibly a stretch, but very exciting. I like a good silly escape scene, and I bet like rats are going to talk to them or something. I don't know. I feel like we've talked about it before. A
rat will scurry and someone will scream.
Oh my god, it's so close. The sewer. Oh my gosh,
but it was too close to Wonka well that I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
This is uncomfy in a beautiful way.
The footage ends with Wonka unwrapping chocolate with a message that says, "It's not the chocolate that matters; it's the people you share it with." Mom.
It's not that important.
He opens it and it just says matter. It's not that important. And he says, fuck.
I know it's different, but it does feel a little close to that as well.
It's not the Wonka that matters, it's the people you share it with. Will that be our sign-off when the movie comes out?
It's not the Wonka that matters, it's the people you share with, Mom.
This is another one from last year. Olivia Colman, Rowan Atkinson, Keegan-Michael Key, Sally Hawkins, and more all crop up all around several song and dance numbers led by Chalamet, who deftly tap dances on a cafe tabletop. Now, if we remember, I had a prediction that he will own or be given tap shoes.
Yes.
We don't know if he is wearing tap shoes in this moment, but there's more of a chance now.
There's a little sliver of a hope. It's not as ridiculous.
He also leads a chorus of umbrella-wielding dancers spelling out the character's name.
I love an umbrella dance, too.
Listen
Paul
to
King has
the
hit
rain
everything.
on the roof. Come, click, clicky, clack, back to pink. He's done an umbrella dance before, but
like they every musical trope that I fucking enjoy, I have heard so far, or tangentially we're close enough that I feel very. We can't maybe we can't. I can't love this. Can I love this? I don't know if this can become this can't be a favorite movie of mine, but I'm getting a little concerned. But also don't want to hate it.
I mean, if it is, I feel like it would make this whole thing feel a lot more worth it.
And then it'd be really funny to be like, well, now I'm really invested, but
It would be great. I mean, it would be good if... I think it would be better for us if we liked the movie.
I want to like it. I just don't want to have it be my favorite.
Yeah.
But, like, what if it is?
So, IMDb. I've checked some IMDb updates. And I'll tell you not much, but there is one piece that got me so happy. Because, Elaine, I was fucking right. Rowan Atkinson is the clergyman. The clergyman is Rowan Atkinson! I said he would be the priest, and I checked on that fucking IMDb, and next to Rowan Atkinson, it said priest, and I was like, oh, this is the best day! This is the best day! This is the best news.
Means, I mean, we knew the clergyman would have, like, you know, a scene, but to me that means, like, that's going to be more of a prominent character than just an in passing. I mean, maybe it's just a little cameo. I know that Paul King likes to do that as well, but I
feel like it's probably a short bit, but hey, I'm still hyped. Now we get to the discussingfilm.net description, which is the longest and best description that kind of gives us everything. So, we are introduced to a young and poor Willy Wonka who lives with this young girl played by Calla Lane, named Noodle. I'm adding that. A new original character who acts like a pseudo-sister for the aspiring candy maker, which we predicted. This is not news to us. We predicted this. Yes. Willy is seen traveling to exotic jungles, perfecting the art of making chocolate from cacao beans. The young man has a dream of owning a shop to sell his own chocolate via his original recipes, but the distribution of sweets in the industrial town he lives in is controlled by the Chocolate Cartel, which is really just a group of greedy businessmen. The instantly recognizable melody of Pure Imagination from 1971's Willy Wonka is used in the footage. So, lending credence to my theory.
I love it.
Wonka cannot fulfill his dreams of selling chocolate if he can't get past the Chocolate Cartel in order to set up a shop. He decides to get extremely creative in pursuing his dreams, distributing his magical candy to the people of the town and building the name of himself in the old-fashioned way. When the cartel comes to stop him, he gives them a piece of chocolate and it sends them floating in the air, which gets the attention of the townspeople. Keegan-Michael Key enters the scene as a comical policeman who tries to stop Wonka's hijinks for what looks to be the rest of the film. The footage ends with Hugh Grant being introduced as an Oompa Loompa stuck in a glass jar. So, Keegan-Michael Key is a police officer. He's not connected to the chocolate cartel, but he is kind of like chase scene.
Yes.
Him,
I imagine he gives me Pink Panther vibes. I think he's going to have a lot of like physical comedy flub ups that happen based on that.
And Hugh Grant is orange, has the same green hairdo and white outfit in the original film, which makes sense.
Nice.
Willie accuses this Oompa Loompa of spying on him, but the short companion tries to explain the situation through song. He takes out and blows on a flute, then tells an annoyed Willie, once we start, we have to finish the song. Which I do like that. And I also like that he's already pissed off about it, because I feel like that's accurate. That gives me some hope that Willie immediately gets pissed when someone starts playing a flute at him. Like, I just need Willy Wonka to get annoyed. I can't have him be unjudgmental. He needs to be a little mean. Which it seems like, I think that's the thing. I think he's optimistic about himself, but he does seem to be still very, like, self-important, which is good for the character. The fact that the chocolate cartel's trying to put him down, he's like, bitch, I'll go around you. I'll throw you into the fucking air. I'll make you do a fucking loop-de-loop. That's actually true. He's like, I will fucking eat you alive. I will make you eat chocolate that'll fly through the air, you fucking idiots. Like, he's like, I do love if he's hopeful and inspired, but incredibly spiteful, which makes sense to me. Like,
a good amount of petty is very delicious, if you will. Especially if
I wonder
he's, like,
if
younger.
he might take things a little too far, and then Cal Lane will be like, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't.
And then someone dies
This isn't
because
you,
of his
Willie.
actions. Oh my gosh. And then he's just alone in the rain crying, figuring out what he's done. And then he's like, I have to make it right. And then Keegan-Michael Key becomes his bestie to help him out and has a change of heart. Anyway.
All right. Last one. Timothy Chalamet's interpretation of Willy Wonka is rebellious and a bit blunt in the vein of Gene Wilder's famous performance, which is good.
Nice.
The bluntness is what I need. Like that.
Yes.
He just needs to be
little blunt, little sprinkle of dry humor. I feel like goes a long way. It doesn't have to be a ton, but just a good balance.
And more importantly, purely magical. So he's like super fucking magic in this, which I didn't expect, but I'm getting okay with.
We're going to have to get an origin story on that. They can't just say that, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to have to, in the movie, figure that out. I wonder if while he's running away from, like, whatever bad thing is happening as a kid, he, like, comes across something and it gives him...
He's able to figure shit out.
Yeah.
We see him fly across town by holding a large collection of colorful balloons and fully embrace himself in multiple musical performances. Wonka, like Paul King's past films, seems to be an ideal blend of cinematic fun for older and younger audiences alike. I didn't read any of this and go, no! I was, like, pretty fucking hyped reading all of it.
Yeah, I'm not also disappointed with anything
as I was reading it going, wait, we said that. So, because of that, I wanted to go through our predictions and see what this affects. So we have a few predictions in the solid category, and then I have a lot of predictions in the likely outcomes category, where it's like too soon to call, but it's leaning in a certain direction. And I feel like if I don't acknowledge it, it wouldn't be interesting. So, for example, I predicted that Sally Hawkins was Wonka's mom in the first episode, and that is true.
And to have that in the first episode feels extra sweet. Feels extra goody-goody.
And now these could arguably still be true. But I don't think so, because I think that would be a lot. We both predicted that Rowan Atkinson could be Wonka's dad or father figure. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, no.
Father figure, if it is a father figure, we can change it. But
Capital
as of right now... Yeah.
Father?
I mean, wait, hold on.
We never specified. I will absolutely. He goes, oh, Father, who baptized me in chocolate fondue. Yes, Willie, go have fun. And then that's it. We're like,
that's
check,
it.
we got it.
We can count it. We predicted that in episode 2. And then in episode 26, I predicted that he would be, which is the right one again? The clergy? Clergy is the right one.
GGG.
Thank you.
G for Jesus. Not G for God.
But I predicted that he would be the clergyman in episode 26. And guess what, ladies and gents? I was fucking right. So
stunning.
So these are the likely outcomes, and I've written the direction leading and the evidence that supports that.
Fingers crossed I have one on this list.
No, you have many. We have a lot. This is not a short list. This is a
genuinely shocking. Okay.
There's like 15 on here that are affected. So
the Wonka psychics.
Now, granted, for perspective, we've made over 200 predictions at this point, so it's a lot, but in the scheme, not much. But that's okay. A lot of it is stuff that like we won't know until the movie's fully released. So
yes.
There will be an instrumental cover of the Pure Imagination trailer in the trailer with bells. I made that prediction in episode 1, and that is leaning towards true. Now, granted, I think we haven't talked about our predictions set up in a while, but we have decided to count half correct, where like there was enough of a basis there. Like, it wasn't spot on. So, like, there's pure imagination in the trailer. I'm at least half correct. If there are bells, I'm fully correct. Does that make sense?
Yes, we have a tier ranking within our...
A lot of these are that. Just because we thought it would be genuinely unfair if we only had to get it spot on every time. So, Keegan-Michael Key's character is a smaller role, a morally gray character, more involved with business, a sort of traveling companion. You made that episode 1. I marked it as leaning towards false. The smaller role and morally gray could be right, but the involved with business, a traveling companion, not really. But that's all right. Episode 1, I predicted Olivia Colman is some old rich lady that gives Wonka his first big break, probably not evil. And I said false. She's going to be a boarding house lady, so like potentially she could be rich, but I don't think so. I mean, she's like... No. She's a Cockney boarding house lady. It's giving more like Mrs. Lovett from Sweeney Todd. I think we're fine. Episode 4, you predicted Wonka will constantly be doing small magic tricks. And this one we can mark as likely true, which is wild, but I'm very happy.
That is wild. Oh my goodness. And Lisa's going to be it's going to be done in like a way that doesn't sound annoying and bad. Like it actually sounds like it'll be nice. So...
in episode 8, you predicted that an Oompa Loompa will give Timmy Wonka the purple coat. And based on the trailer, while we haven't seen it, presumably he's wearing the coat pre-meeting Hugo Loompa. So probably not, but maybe. And then, of course, there will be an Italian mobster element in the prequel, or Hugo Loompa will dress like one. I predicted episode 9, and I said, we all laughed! We all laughed! But this is probably true, and I know that a mob is organized crime, and a cartel is an organization of businesses. But I looked up the difference.
All the people coming after us in the DMs.
Excuse me, this is really offensive to cartels and mobs.
But they're very fucking similar, okay? I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I don't...
So, you predicted in episode 10 that Hugo Loompa may be about to fail dramatically or die, or fall dramatically. I don't know if it was fall or fail. Then Wonka saves him, which starts their friendship. But, I mean, Hugo Loompa is trapped in a jar that Timmy Wonka gets him out of.
That seems pretty...
that seems close.
Like a lot... Yeah, halfway, you know?
He's saving him from something, which starts their relationship.
Yes. Ooh.
Now, found family element to Wonka. Cal-Elena's like a sister, I predicted episode 10. She keeps bothering him, but he eventually softens up, and they become friends and do a whole song about how they're similar. I think I am right fucking on with this, in my opinion, but we will see. The second part remains to be seen.
Yes, I could see it going a couple ways, but like it's plausible.
And if he has like a tragic backstory, like, let's be honest. Do we think Wonka's mom is going to be alive?
No.
Right.
No. Yeah.
Like, I think I saw some early leaks that were saying she died, but also I think at this point she's just got, like, I know how a Paul King story works. She seemed to only be on set with the young version of Wonka. He's got a lot of sentimental letters of her. She's only in voiceover.
Yeah.
Feels very like that. So I could see him not wanting to get close to people in the beginning and being very focused on chocolate. And I think that'd be a compelling arc for him.
Yeah.
Which makes it all the more tragic when he regresses again, you know?
Yes. Yes.
That's really interesting because, like, the end of Willy Wonka's story is not happy, you know?
No. Yeah. It is interesting.
Like, it's kind of fucking depressing.
Yeah, it is nice to know that this will probably not end with him, I'm off to now seclude myself for years, you know, or whatever. Like, it's
I would absolutely fucking love, though, if we did, like, the gritty sequel that, like, charts his fall from grace. I know they won't do that, but it would be so amazing.
Mm-hmm. I do feel that.
Episode 30, I predicted that Miss Bonbon is a local candy store owner, perhaps a friendly rival with Timmy Wonka. And I said this is likely untrue because the candy owners seem to be incredibly hostile, but she may be the exception. So we
true.
can't say it's false as of yet. And we also don't know if she's actually a candy maker, but one would assume.
I just envisioned her having like a trap door behind her counter, and she's like, we can't talk here, but like she might be willing to help, but she's like, I'll turn you in if I have to, but like escape now or something. Come to my sewer, as one does.
Like I could see that happening, so we don't know. But
yeah, oh, Miss Bonbon the mystery.
She may be the Switzerland of the chocolate cartel.
She's just there in waves, and that's her thing. She waves from the window, and then that's it. We spent like 5 minutes talking about Miss Bonbon in that episode.
Yeah. I mean, we've done more for characters with less, so.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Fickle Gripper. I don't know what you're saying.
Timmy Wonka will be the least powerful Wonka. I predicted in episode 51, but he seems to be so more magical than we predicted, so I think this is false. I don't think this is going to be true.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to remember Gene is the least powerful, so it's still a high bar to hit. Mm-hmm. So I thought just from the virtue of him being the, like, newbie, he would be the lowest, but I don't know.
But even if we're comparing it to, like, if we're supposed to reach the same age as the other Wonkas that have access to hell and stuff, like, he's starting off young, and if he already has that amount of power, like, I totally see him
He's
owning
going
hell.
to hell, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He can go to hell back, bought it, has the deed, have a s'more.
Next, in episode 60, I predicted hot air balloon. Now, Wonka was said to hold a bunch of balloons and float over a crowd in the extended trailer, and I count that as half right for hot air balloon.
I am right there with you. I agree.
Like, is it the same thing? No. But is holding a bunch of balloons and floating over a crowd, it's in the same spirit.
Exactly. Same vibe.
Yeah, so
I'm right there with you. I agree.
Episode 61, I also predicted that Wonka will try and sell his candy at a local market like a bazaar, and this is probably true, and honestly I think is just true, having read all the stuff.
Yeah, I feel like...
Because he was selling it on the street, right? Illegally.
Yeah, so, yeah, I think it would just be, are other people around, or is it just him? But I totally see him. Like, it would be weird if he didn't at some point, like, try to go to the market and people are like, no. Like, that would be when he's like, oh, I have to do this, like, secretly or something.
It's going to be at the very least half correct.
Yes.
In episode 64, you predicted that a bunch of animals will be released from a pen and cause chaos. And if we remember, in the trailer that was talked about last year, this is likely correct, as there are animals like elephants and giraffes in the tube station. However, they could be made of candy or some shit, so we can't say for sure.
True.
But it's definitely half right, you know?
Yes, and even if they are made of candy and they stampede, I would still like to get... points for sure for
exactly.
that. You know what I mean?
All
like,
of these things are... All of the things that are true are at the very least half correct.
Yeah.
But I can't say if they're fully correct or not, so I don't want to mark it, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. There might be some heated debates and arguments
about what counts as correct
what
and
gets
half
to
correct.
count as fully correct. Because if, for example, that was the case, it's the animal stampeding, but they're made of chocolate. I want to count that as fully correct because is it chocolate
say they'll be
or is
released
it
from
animal?
a pen?
If they're released from not a pen, I'm going to throw everything out the window. That's
the only sticking point I have. It's not about the animals. It's just whether or not they're released from a pen.
From a pen. God.
I made the prediction that Hugh Grant is only going to be in the movie for about 5 minutes. Reading these, it seems like that's probably untrue, but we don't know for sure.
That is true. That is true, but it does seem like he's like main character with Timmy. But
I also wrote Wonka will be given tap shoes. He will have tap shoes / tap shoes from episode 6, and he is at least tap dancing, so that will be at least half correct.
Yeah.
So, and also, a gear will appear on screen. I don't know what episode that was from. I just remembered it existed as they talked about him having gadgets. And if he has gadgets, there's got to be a fucking gear.
Well, and there's a
not a
factory
gear.
and industrial stuff. And if we have magical, I'm imagining like steampunk vibes kind of with this stuff. And if you even think about, like, we have that still of the factory worker. Remember from like the second episode we were reviewing, and we're like, oh, who's that guy? And they're like in the factory. Like, it looks like they're in like the steam room of the Titanic or something. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Vaguely.
Like, there is a factory worker. Let me see if I can find it.
Is it Tom Davis?
Yes.
I thought they were outside.
No, they're like, it's like everything's bronze in the area.
Okay. Well, if you see a gear on there, I'd love it if we could say I'm right.
Love that. It just seems like there's a good chance of a gear. I agree. Oh, there's a doggy. Oh, that's so cute.
cute.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's a dog in a scene.
Yeah, I think I found the photo you're talking about. They're just on a walkway.
Yeah.
It's just a fence.
It's just so yellow. How dare they? Still, we have factory at least and business cartels and all this stuff. So I feel very positive for your gear.
There is a dog. You're right. So our total counts from this is 2 were fully confirmed, 2 were fully disproved. But for our likely counts, 9 were likely true, which this moves to 10 now with the gear. And 6 were likely false, which is a better ratio than I thought we would have. Now, granted, when the movie comes out, this is going to all go to shit because we've made a lot of stupid predictions about teensy little things. Like teensy. I think our predictions of everything, but if you take out the niche moments one, our rate will be so much better. So we will make that calculation.
And we've made all of this with like almost no information. So
now we actually have things to go from. Now, here's the thing. Will we take this information to heart and use it to make predictions? Remains to be seen. I make no promises. I'm going to remember it, but I also love just pulling weird bullshit out of my ass every episode. I think it's fun.
I never plan mine. I don't think I have ever planned my predictions.
Every once in a while, I'll get struck by a concept and be like, oh, I have to bring that on the podcast because I truly believe in it, but it's rare. It's probably happened 4 times.
Our prequel predictions section is one of the few times that I actually let myself open the veil to peek through what is happening, what is impending in our lives, this Wonka movie coming up. And I try not to get overwhelmed by it, and then I just zip it back up, and then I go back to living in this reality. So, but I don't... Yeah. Now I feel pressure to, like, do better, but why try when you know you'll fail?
I guess now we have to make our predictions about this. And the thing is, you'd think, Felicia, you've read all these. You surely would have thought of one prediction. And the truth is, audience at home, I have not. I have not come up with a prediction. I'm realizing that was a fault of mine. I think maybe I'll sit down with some of these pieces of information and write a few predictions for myself for the next few episodes. Reestablish myself as the voice of reason on this podcast.
Excuse you.
I have never been the voice of reason. I've never been the voice of reason. Oh, my prediction is there will be a joke about Calla Lane's character Noodle using her noodle. That's my joke. That's my beautiful prediction. I think that could happen. And it's relevant to the piece of information.
My prediction is that there will be a chocolate river in the wild.
Yeah. Do you think it'll be in Loomba Land?
I ain't getting fucking specific. Don't you trap me. I see what you're trying to do. I'm keeping it ambiguous. Now, separately from the prediction, I am period, enter, indent. This is not part of the prediction. I do think it would probably be near Loompa Land, but I don't know if Loompa Land is a thing. I've made a rule that
if it's in parentheses, it's an extra note where it's like, good on us if we got that extra bit right, but it's not legally
It's not going to be counted on. Okay, cool. That's
been my thought process with making them.
Yeah, I think that's what I would like. Yeah, because this everything you've told me hasn't really. I mean, to be honest, it hasn't shifted too much of what I thought this movie might be. It did seem very whimsy, especially after we saw the snippet, obviously, of the trailer we were able to get. But I mean, the magic part is really tripping me.
I think we've been careful to not try and create too big of a vision for what we think the movie is going to be, which I think has been good, so that we're not betrayed.
Yes.
Because honestly, sometimes I'm a little bit over the movie and more interested in the other Wonka bullshit. Sometimes I don't even care about this movie, and I'm more invested in website Wonka spaghetti sculptures.
No, I genuinely forget about it.
Yeah, that's this movie's not going to answer my questions about website Wonka spaghetti sculptures. I'm never going to know. That's just something I have to live with.
Yeah, no.
Am I sometimes more investigated in the plight of private detective investigator Milano Tollhouse than I am in the plight of Sammy Wonka? Yeah, and that's okay.
Which I would like to say, I will not say your name unless you come back to us and you would like me to. I would love to credit you. But I was doing some Googling, and I came across on Archive of Our Own. I never get his name right. Inspector Detective
Investigator
Milano Tollhouse. I found a fan fiction that was Milano Tollhouse and Penelope from the Toothsome Factory from Universal. And I, for a moment, felt bad because I thought this was a fan fiction that Felicia had written that I had completely forgotten and deleted from my mind. However, lo and behold, someone else wrote it. So a Wonka character that you created that was birthed in this podcast.
Yes. And
is
also,
now,
I know at the bottom you said, please never find this. It was very well written. Like, it was really good.
I was going to get to that. My favorite part was the note at the bottom said, oh God, Elaine and Felicia, I hope you never find this. Well, oops, we did. Haha. But it was really well written. Highly enjoyed it. But also it was just like, that was like such a delightful little moment.
You have nothing to be sorry about. It was one of my highest honors.
Nothing to be sorry. That was a wild and beautiful moment. So thank you for writing that. Actually, genuinely highly enjoyed it. Please continue writing. You're a very good writer. But also I did laugh I laughed so hard at that note at the end. I was like, oh man, oops, I did. So the other cool thing about this is now Wonka Watch officially has a tag on archive.
I know, which is fucking amazing.
So exciting. So anyway,
it's
just
great.
a delightful thing to share. Made me happy.
Anyway. Yeah, so we encourage all that type of shit. We absolutely love it. It's our lifeblood. Also, by the way, hi to all of our new listeners that came in from the TikTok blow up. How are y'all? Thanks.
Your mental health is about to deteriorate.
You're welcome, bitch.
Worst way to welcome any new person. First off, do it at the end of the episode. Second off, yell at them in weird voices you never use. I've never heard our WWE voices. What was that?
There's so much things to think about.
We've done the predictions, and I feel like we did it. And I really would love to hear everyone's thoughts now that we have a lot more concrete, cited information. Please reach out to us with your thoughts and stuff. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Wonka Watch. Our DMs are open. And if you feel fancy and you want to email us, you can go to wonkarapture@gmail.com. If you enjoy what we do and you want to support us and also get additional fun content such as movie commentaries and us playing through really annoying video games, or us letting Sims Wonkas kill each other, you can go to our buymeacoffee.com/WonkaWatch and join.
You know what'll be up when this is out?
Oh, what'll be up?
Our Muppets commentary track. It was the first commentary track we ever recorded. In it, Elaine sees Statler and Waldorf, and I believe she calls them Stalin and Meth Head. That's what you said about those characters.
I'm sure I had seen Muppets, but like it wasn't a staple in my childhood, so I basically knew nothing except from like the basics you gather from culture. So that's a riot.
So the episode is Elaine learning about the Muppets and experiencing the Muppets fully for the first time, and me fangirling about the Muppets seeing the movie for like the 10th time. But it's pretty fun. We have a good time. So that'll be up on there, and you guys can listen to us watch the Muppets, because we've done all the Wonka movies, so now we're just doing whatever we want. Freedom.
Yahoo! Well, at the end of the day, we may have more information about the whole reason this podcast started and what's become over a year and a half of our lives, but you know, it's not that important.
It's not that important.
I'm gonna get some like chili after this, so it really is just not that important. This is like a blip in my day.
Yeah, just move on.
It's not that important.
Bye!